Hello everyone, this is Akshat Jain and today we'll be discussing about the AtliQ Mart supply chain analysis that I have conducted throughout my virtual internship conducted by Code Basics. So here is the problem statement. So the problem statement says like AtliQ Mart, a fast-growing FMCG manufacturer based in Gujarat which operates in Surat, Ahmedabad and Vadodara, which plans to expand to tier 1 cities in the next 2 years. However, recent service issues have led to customers not reviewing their contracts, likely due to delays or incomplete deliveries. To address this, the supply chain is implementing a performance tracking system to monitor daily service levels. The dashboard will measure on-time delivery percentage, in-full delivery percentage, and on-time in-full delivery percentage against customer-specific targets, enabling shift corrective actions to enhance reliability and customer satisfaction. Okay, so to go through the analysis, I performed some analysis on the matrix like OT percentage, IF percentage, OTI percentage, back order rates, delay order rates, average order delays in delivery, and so on. So first of all, let's understand the key metrics like OT percentage and the impact on the supply chain. Okay, so I have created like some notes which says like, so first of all, I understand the OT percentage. So OT percentage is the percentage of orders or order lines which are delivered to the customer before the promised order date. For example, if let's say like on 10th of April is the order date and the delivery date is 14th of April, right? So if the order is getting placed before 14th of April, that is the delivery date, then the order will be considered on time because it has been delivered to the customer before the delivery date. Okay. So what does it mean? So basically, it reflects the delivery reliability of the logistics partner. Secondly, it directly impacts customer satisfaction and evaluates logistic provider performance, like whether the logistic partner is performing well or not. So a high OT percentage means the trust in delivery schedules and fewer customer complaints. Okay. And what does low OT percentage mean? So it means missed SLAs or increase the churns of the supply chain or the logistics basically. Now, in full percentage means the percentage of orders delivered for the percentage of orders delivered in full quantity or not. For example, if you like ordered 4 notebooks and you are getting 2 notebooks, right? So the in full percentage is 50%. Why? Because you ordered four notebooks and you are getting just two. So that is the in full percentage. So what does the importance of it? So first of all, the inventory. So it shows the inventory readiness and fulfillment capability and tracks how well the customer demand is met. So a high IF percentage means a good inventory management and demand planning of that specific product or order line. Okay, so a low OT percentage means stockouts or lost sales. Now, going to the third matrix, that is the OTI percentage. So it is the backbone of the supply chain analysis. Why? Because it considers both the timeliness and the in full percentage basically. So what does it say? So it is the percentage of order lines delivered both on time and in full. So it is very important to calculate the OTI percentage, and we have calculated across the cities and the products, right? So we will see that thing next. So now, so basically, what's the importance of it? So it is the gold standard of supply chain performance. Why? Because it combines both timeliness and completeness into one single matrix, right? So what's the impact? So a high OT percentage means happy customers. Why? Because they're getting the product on time and in full quantity. So it also reduces the logistics dependency of that single order line. Okay. So what does a low OTI percentage mean? So indicates the improvement in planning and warehousing and logistics. Why? Because you are getting the same product in full quantity also and on time also. Okay. Yeah. So now LFR. So LFR basically considers the order lines and not quantities, regardless of total quantities. So what does it mean? So it means basically how many. So what is the percentage of orders which are getting fulfilled, right? So what's the importance of it? So it reflects how many distinct SKUs was successfully supplied to the customers, and the customers, or it is useful when the customers need multiple items per order. So a high LFR means a broader availability of SKUs, and a poor LFR means poor assortment availability. Why? Because let's see with an example. So here's the example, right? So let's say you place an order from Amazon, and the order consists of four notebooks and two pens, right? But when you got the order, so the order lines were 1 by 2. Why? Because there were two products, that was the notebook and the pen. So, but what is the quantity that you got for pen? So you ordered two quantities, but you got only one. So what is the in full percentage? Why? Because you are so how many order lines are getting fulfilled? Only one order line out of two, that is of notebook, is getting in full. So what will be the what will be the LFR? 1 by 2. Why? Because only one order line is getting fulfilled and the others not. So that is the LFR will be 50% in this case. Now, getting to the VFR. So VFR only considers the volume or the quantity that the customer has placed. Okay. So it says like percentage of total order quantity that was shipped to the customer. Let's see with this example. Okay. So VFR will be, so let's say, so it only calculates the quantity, right? Now let's see. So in this example, there are six quantities. Why? Because there are four notebooks and two pens. So the total quantity of the order lines is six. But how many are getting fulfilled? Five. Why? Because four notebooks plus one pen, that is five. So the VFR will be 5 by 6, that is 83% is the VFR. Okay. So now we have understand the uh, metrics that will be analyzing throughout the dashboard. Now let's jump to the dashboard directly. Okay, right. So okay, so before jumping to the customer and insights page, we will be reviewing the GitHub repository that we have created. So it contains all the insights of the cities also, categories also, products and customers also. So it contains the overall performance as well as the granular performance as well at the lowest level. Okay, so here's the customer and city page. So now, so basically, we have three cities in which AtliQ Mart is running or operating. So the cities are Ahmedabad, Surat, and Vadodara. So first of all, let's see the order view. Now you can see it is cyclical. Why? Because in the months like March, May, and July, the orders are very high. As you can see, 9,755 order lines were created, 9,389, and so on. So basically, in these months, the order values are very high or order lines are very high. Whereas if you see months like April, June, August, they're very low, right? So it shows the cyclicity of the supply chain or the business model to which they're supplying. Okay. So now let's see the quantity view also. Now, if you see the in the quantity view also, it is cyclical. So basically, we can see that the order lines are very much directly proportional to the quantities. So in months like March, May, and July, the order quantities are very high. Whereas if you see like months of April and June and August, the quantities are very low, and they're also decreasing month on month, right? Like they are making lower highs and lower lows also. So it's a downward trajectory that is going on through the supply chain or through the 6 months time period that we have given. Okay. Now, now you can see for the city and customer page. For the cities and customers, the OT percentage is only 59%, which is moderate also. And similarly, the IF percentage, that is the input percentage, is also very low. is also moderate basically. Why? Because it is in the range of 52.78%, whereas the targeted matrix of OT percentage is 86% and the IF percentage is 77% for the city level. So it is running behind the targeted values. Whereas if you see the OTI percentage, so it is low because it is only 29.02 percentage. It should be around 40 to 50%. Because why? Because if you are supplying products or order lines to three tier 2 cities such as Surat, Ahmedabad, and Vadodara, your ideal OTI percentage should be more than 50% at least, right? So these are the three metrics in which the supply chain is lagging. Now, let's see the OT percentage by months. Okay. So if you see the OT percentage throughout the months from March till August, it is around 59% to 58.9%. So it is in the range of 59% to 60% basically throughout the months. And it is the same case with IF percentage also. So IF percentage varies from 52.3% to 53.6%. So it's very negligible. So basically they are in the range of 53% only, right? And then OTA percentage also. So it is increasing basically. If you see in the month of March it was 28.9% and it went to around 29.4%. So it's not a very high jump, but it is increasing every month as you can see, except for the months of April and June. And similarly with LFR also. So it is in the range of 65.8% to 66%, which is nominal, and you can see with VFR also. It is in the range of 96.6% to 96.7%. So it's only 96% basically. Now coming back to the delayed orders. So the delay order percentage is almost 40% as you can see. So which means like 40% of the order lines are getting delayed. 40%. Can you see? And the delayed orders are 13,000 orders are getting delayed. So what's the order lead time? So order lead time basically is the time in which your order gets prepared and the order gets shipped. So the gap between the order date and the delivery date is almost 2.42 days. So basically it is 2.5 days basically. So within 2.5 days you're getting your order. Now, there's a very special matrix that we have calculated, that is the A, that is the average delay in delivery orders, delivery days. So basically it is 1.69. So which means the average delay in delivery days is only 1.69. So which is very nominal. Like because why? Because your orders are getting delayed by 1.5 day only. So basically it's like 1 or 2 days you're getting your order delivered to your doorsteps. Okay. So now we have the three cities. Now let's start comparison with the three cities. So the three cities are Surat, Ahmedabad, and Vadodara. Okay. Now, now all the cities have a very high VFR of around 96.59%. So if you see, I think Ahmedabad is having the highest percentage as 96.76%. Yeah. So it shows that they are able to manage their inventory levels with respect to quantity. So they have a very high quantity of products that they are able to deliver on time, basically on not on time, but they have in full quantity basically. Okay. So now let's see with the order lines. So most of the order lines came from Ahmedabad and Vadodara. As you can see, Vadodara consists of 10.97 thousand 10,000 basically 11,000 order lines were generated from Vadodara itself, whereas from Ahmedabad 11,000 order lines were generated, and from Surat 9,000 order lines were generated. Now what was the order quantity? So the ordered quantity in total was 13 million and the delivered quantity was 1.29 million, 12.9 million basically. So there's a gap of uh, the difference. So there is a difference in quantities. So what is the difference? So it is the difference of minus of 3.41% deliveries. So which means the company is not able to fulfill the gap of or the ordered quantities and the delivered quantities. Why? Because I think there can't be any inventory issues or logistic issues, so which might be causing the this gap, right? Now let's see to the OT percentage. So Surat is having the highest OT percentage of 61.21%. So which means 61% of the order lines in Surat are getting on time. So Surat basically is having a very punctual delivery or logistics partner, which is providing the order lines on time to the customers. Okay. Now, with respect to the IF percentage, so Vadodara, so I think Ahmedabad is having the highest IF percentage of 54.2%. So basically, in Ahmedabad, 54.2% of the order lines are delivered in full quantity, right? Like if you ordered five products, so if there are five order lines, then 54% of those order lines are getting in full quantities basically. Like if there are 30 products in a single order line, then 30 products are getting delivered to the customer. Okay. And with respect to the OT percentage, so it is actually very low of overall wise. So it is very low, like 29.02%. But in Surat, it is 30.07%. As you can see, it is the highest. Now, coming back to the LFR. So LFR, so in LFR, uh, Ahmedabad is having the highest LFR of around 67.56%, and Ahmedabad also having a good VFR of 96.76%. And with respect to the delayed orders, now if you see, Ahmedabad and Vadodara are having the highest contribution to the order lines. Why? Because they are delivering around 11,000 order lines in the past 6 months. But also you can see that they are having the highest delay orders by which is of 14% each, right? So which means they having the highest market share in terms of the order lines, but the orders are also getting delayed, which is overall impacting the customer satisfaction. So there is the point to point of performance or improvement that you have to see. Now, with respect to the back order rates, so Vadodara is having the highest back order rate of 36%. Now, if you see the overall contribution to the supply chain, Vadodara and Ahmedabad are the highest contribution to the total order lines of 34%, 34.58% and 34.86% respectively. Now let's see the customer insights. Okay. So first of all, let's see the overall percentage basically, overall performance. So the total order lines were 31.73 thousand, order quantity was 13 million, delivered quantities were 12 million approximately, and the gap difference between the ordered and the delivered quantities is 3.441%. Basically, it shows that the demand is not being fulfilled. And if you see the average delay in delivery days, it's around 1.69, which says uh, like around 1.5 days you are getting the order delayed. Okay, now let's see the customers page. So here is the list. Now there are two things that we have calculated: the top performing customers, the top five performing customers, and the bottom five performance customer performance as per OTI percentage. Why? Because OTI percentage is that percentage which calculates both the OT percentage also and the IF percentage also into a single matrix. So which is very important to consider. Now, so with respect to the top five customers, the top five customers are Propel Mart, then Atlas Stores, then Vivek Stores, uh, then Expert Mart and Logic Mart, Logic Store. So if you see, you will find a very common link to these top five performing customers is the OTIF percentage. So if you see, they're having a very good OTIF percentage of 40.92%. Then Atlas Stores is having 39%. Vivek Store is having 39.4%. and Expert Mart having 39.11, and then we have Logic stores having 38.78 percentage. So which means 40% of the order lines with respect to these five top performing customers, having 40% of order lines are getting on time and in full percentage also. So they are meeting the timeliness also and the quantities also. Now, if you see, they are the highest contributing customers. Why? Because Propel Mart contributes around 7.64 percentage to the order lines. Atlas Stores contributes 5%. Then we have Vivek Store 5%, Expert Mart 5%, and 5.28% is contributed by Logic Stores. So if you see, so it is around 40% or 40 to 45% of the total contribution is done by the top five performing customers that we have. Now, also if you see the top five customers, they have a very low, so they are having a very low delayed order percentage, which is around 2% in terms of Propel Mart. Then in Atlas stores it is 1.46% and so on. Also, you will see that the gap order is in the range of minus 2.55 to 2.30, which is very nominal to have. Okay. But now let's see the bottom five performing customers with respect to OTI percentage. So if you see the bottom five customers that are Cool Blue, then Acclaim Stores, Lotus Mart, Light Mart, and Info Stores. So why they're having the why they are the bottom five performing stores? Why? Because they're having a very low OTI percentage. So if you see, like Cool Blue is having 13.75 percentage, then Acclaim Stores is having 15.47 percentage, and Lotus Mart is having uh, around 16.34 percentage OTI percentage. So it is very low, right? But if you see, they are having the highest contribution, which is 11%. So that is the gap that the supply chain has to fill, that has to improve. Also, if you see, the gap order is very high. So it is having the gap order of minus 4.92 percentage and in the range of minus 4.13 percentage. So which is very high. Then they have like the order lines of 2.4 thousand, then 3.5 thousand, 3.5 thousand, and so on. The order lines. So in terms of order line, they're good because they are contributing around 7.58 percentage. That is good, okay. But while where they are lagging in the OTI percentage, that is the point where they have to improve. Okay. Now, now let's go back to the repository and let's see the analysis, the insights that we have generated. So if you see the customer and city insights, you will see that Propel Mart, Atlas stores, Vivek stores are the top performing customers. Why? Because they are having a high OTI percentage, that is of 40.92. And why they're able to perform well? Why? Because they're having a high IF and OT values. So if you see the OT value, OT percentage of Propel Mart is 73%. So and Logic stores having more than 70%. So overall, the top five performing customers are having the OT percentage of more than 70%, and the in and the IF percentage is more than 60%. In terms of Logic stores, and Propel Mart is having around 60% IF percentage, and the delayed also orders are very low, which is around 2%, right? So and which leads to minimal delays and strong VFR. That is why they are the top five performing customers that we have. Okay, so what are the top bottom five customers by OTI percentage? So Cool Blue and then Acclaim Stores, Lotus Mart, Elite Mart, Info Stores. So why they're having the why they are the worst performance? Why? Because they're having the lower OTI percentage in the range of 13% to 25%. So why they are underperforming? Because they're having low OT and IF scores and high back order rates of up to 49%. So if you see, Cool Blue is having the back order rate of 48.5%, which is very high. So which means 50% of the orders are getting back ordered, are back orders, right? So which is very high. Now, if you see the delayed orders, so it is more than 5% and 7, 8%, then 8%. So the orders are getting very, very much delayed, due to which the customers are not reviewing the products. So what are the key takeaways? So like for Cool Blue, Acclaim stores and Lotus stores, the major improvement that they need to have is in the OT and the inventory accuracy. And also they have to investigate back order reasons and improve warehouse allocation. Okay. Now, what are strengths and high potential customers that AtliQ Mart should handle? So high potential customers are Propel Mart, Atlas, Vivek stores, and they should replicate their practices to the bottom five performing customers. Okay, so the practices they can follow up. Now, so the third point is improve OTI percentage through digital coordination. So use advanced planning tools or real-time alerts to reduce delays. Also, build an early warning system based on IO drops or rising BR percentage. Now let's get back to the product and insights. Okay, so here's the products and insight page. Now you can see with respect to the total products that we have that the customers have ordered, 71% of the total orders are on time, which means out of 100 products which are being delivered to the customers, 71% of the products are getting on time. Also, if you see the IF percentage, so the IF percentage for products specifically is 65.9%. Okay, and the OTI percentage is 47.95%, which is also a good thing to have. So it's a good matrix with respect to the city and customers, right? Now, what are the top 10 products by orders? So if you see dairy, AM butter 500, then dairy, AM ghee 150, AM ghee 250 are the top five other top five products that are getting placed. Now, if you so let's first discuss the category. So if you see dairy is the most performing category to have. Why? Because out of 31,000 orders or products, 25,000 products are came from the dairy business, which accounts for 80% of the contribution. So 80% of the contribution from the from the category comes from the dairy category itself. And then we have the food, which consists of around 8.6 thousand. Then the beverages account for 8.62 thousand order lines. Now, if you see, dairy has around 10 million ordered quantities and delivered quantities is also 10.2 million. So the difference in the ordered and the delivery quantities is around minus of 3.41, which means the dairy products are getting undelivered or underperformance basically. Okay. Now if you see the on-time percentage, so it is very good. It's around the in the range of 70% to 72 percentage. Also, IF percentage and OTI percentage is also good, which is in the range of 65.96% to 66.46%. Also, the OTI percentage is also in the range of 47 to 48.8 percentage. But with respect to the delayed orders, here is the catch. If you say dairy is having the highest delayed orders, which is of 29%. So it significantly shows that how much inventory issues that dairy business is having, that dairy category is having, right? So if they're able to improve this category, they are itself increasing the contribution to more than 80%, right? Now, if you see the BR percentage, so the beverage is having the highest back order rates, which saw 34.5%. Now, let's understand the insights. So, if you see, dairy is the top contributor. Why? Because it contributes around 79% of total volume. Also, if you see, the IF percentage is also 65.96%. OTI percentage is also 47.83%, which is moderate to have. Now, if you see the VFR is 96%, which is very stable quantity sufficient fulfillment. So, what is the insight? That dairy is the backbone, which but suffers due to high delivery days. So, we have to prioritize the logistics and supply planning. Also, if you see the food category, so food is having the IF percentage of 66.43%, which is the among the best among categories. Also, the OTIF percentage is very high, so which is around 48.84%, and the VFR and LFR are very strong, and they it contributes around 27% of the total products. So, what is the insight? So, it is the best in service performance with room for growth and expansion. Okay, now let's see the beverages also. So, if you see the beverages, the IF percentage is 65%, which is moderate, but it is having the lowest OTIF percentage, which means they are lagging in the on-time purpose, in the on-time space. So, and also they are having the delayed orders of around 8.28%, so which is a concerning thing to have. Now that their contribution also 27.17%. So what is the insight? That so it is consistent but underperforming on OTIF percentage and IF percentage. So it needs to focus on improving delivery reliability. So how they can increase the delivery reliability by increasing the OT percentage. Why? Because they're having good IF percentage, but the overall OTI percentage is lowest. So what they have to improve? They have to improve the on-time percentage basically. So what are the recommendations for uh, AtliQ supply chain in the product category? So first of all, let's see the top five performing products based on OTI percentage. So AM biscuit 750, then AM curd 100, AM butter 100, and AM milk 100 are the per- top five performing products based on OTI percentage. So let's see the notes. So as you can see, AM biscuits 750 is having the OTI percentage of more than 50%. So which shows that highest OTI percentage and strong on time and full delivery. And with AM cut 250 also, so it is having the top IF percentage, so it is very consistent in full delivery. Now let's see the bottom five performing products based on OTI percentage. So if you see AM butter 250, AM butter 500, AM tea 100, AM ghee 100, AMT T250 are the bottom five performing products based on OTIF percentage. Now let's see the notes. So AM Butter 250 is having the lowest OTIF percentage of only 46 percentage. So which needs to be attention. Okay. Now if you see the AM Butter 500, so it is having the OTIF percentage of 46.39 percentage. So it is contributing. So it is the most contributing product, but with weakest OTIF percentage. Now, if you see the overall summary, the average OTI percentage is around 48%, which is half less than the orders delivered on time and in full. Also, the average I percentage is 65%, so which means two-thirds of the orders are delivered in full, and the average OT percentage is 70%, so like which is very better. So it shows like on average 70% of the orders are getting on time. And if you see the average delay in delivery days, so it's around 1.69, which is very average. And so like the deliveries are getting delayed by 1.7 days. So which is a normal thing to have. So it's not a concerning thing. No, but if you see the back order rates, so it is around 34%. So like it shows like a so it shows like return rates are very stable. Now, what are the recommendations for the products category? The products basically. So the first of all, AM Butter 250 and AM Butter 500 have high contribution but with lowest OTI percentage. So which needs to improve logistics and planning. Also, you have to leverage the top performing products. There's the curd and biscuits. So if you see AM curd 250 and AM biscuits 750, show consistently high performance and they also have high contribution to the order lines. And also have to improve OTI percentage to boost service level. Even small improvements can raise overall customer satisfaction. And what are the observations and insights? So what is the best overall performer? So AM Biscuit 750 is the best performer. Why? Because it is having the highest on time and in full percentage of around 50.42 percentage and highest LFR of 68 percentage, having the lowest DO gap. Also, if you see the worst OTI performer, so it is AM Butter 500, only with only 46.39 percentage of OTIF. So, which means despite good order value, but they have very high significant delivery issues. Now, let's see the targets and the actuals. So, if you see the OTI percentage, it is around 59%, and but the target was of 87%. So, there's a gap of 27.97. Also, if you see, IF percentage is actual value that we're getting for the 6 months operations is 52%, whereas the target was set to be 79%. So there's a gap of around 26.2%. Also, if you see, OTIF percentage is also lagging. So the actual value that we are getting is 29.02 percentage, whereas the target value is 68.68 percentage basically. So there's a gap of minus 38.98, right? So now let's see the conclusion. OTIF percentage is 71%, which is below target. So the orders are not getting dispatched or delivered as per scheduled, which are causing delays. Okay. Now IF percentage is around 65.96 percentage, so which is also below target, and many orders are not getting fulfilled completely. This may be due to stockages or inaccurate demand forecasting. Also, if you see, the OTIF percentage is the highest concern. Why? Because it is only 47.95 percentage, which is the below target value that we are getting. Now, this suggests a major breakdown in end-to-end supply chain execution. So now, what are the action plan for improvement? So first of all, we have to improve the OT percentage. So first of all, we have to optimize logistics and routing. Secondly, we have to strengthen supplier performance tracking and contracts with stricter SLAs. Now, and then we have to implement real-time tracking for better visibility of the order lines. Secondly, we have to improve the IF percentage along with OTIF performance. So how we can enhance the OTIF performance? So first of all, we have to align production, planning and demand fluctuations along with implementing buffer inventory for critical SKUs to avoid fulfillment issues. Also, we have to improve coordination between procurement, warehouse, and logistics team. Now, what are the potential improvement for strategies for products specifically? So, first of all, we have to increase the inventory buffer. Secondly, then we have to improve demand forecasting and maintain safety stock levels for the products basically. Now, then we have to enhance supply coordination, then optimize distribution and logistics. Also improve OTI performance. So, by enhancing supply chain visibility and warehouse efficiencies, right? So here is the performance page that we will see. So now, if you see from March to August, the OT percentage is around 61% to 59% of the range. Only in the month of in the 32 week it went to 64%, but then again it went to 59.35 percentage. So it shows the eagerness to increase the OT percentage, but due to low IF percentage and OTI percentage, we are not getting that thing. So now, and similarly with IF percentage, OTI percentage, LFR, VFR, DO. So we can check also. Now, if you see the DO percent, that is the delay in orders, is around 1.07 So it ranges from 1.07 percentage to 0.47 percentage. Okay, so they are not increasing or decreasing, but they are in the range of 1.07 to 0.47. So actually they're not increasing or decreasing, but they are in the range. So which means they are not showing any improvement, right? So that is my analysis for the AtliQ Mart supply chain. Now I have made a repository. So by clicking onto the GitHub documentation button, you can go to the GitHub repository that I have created. So it contains all the documentation and the insights that I have generated throughout the dashboard. Now, also, if you have any queries regarding the dashboard, you can click to my LinkedIn profile and then we can connect to it. So that is my analysis, guys. Thank you for listening. That is Akshat Chan signing off.